On today's show, Summer League showed us who's ready to help you win or lose your fantasy championship. Included in that, we explain why we wouldn't trust the Pelicans to run our fantasy team, much less an NBA franchise. Let's get it going. Welcome back to the Full Court Press podcast, where we pick up 94 feet and talk hoops the right way. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Joyner, joined as always by Ben Clark. Are you ready to apply some pressure to these topics today, Ben?
Absolutely, man. My speakers blew my ears out on that intro video.
My bad.
Adjusting to the sound. No, not your fault. But I mean, it sounds great.
Yeah.
But just heard it a little bit too loudly, so we're good. But before we get started, if anybody wants to sponsor us, I'm looking for a good sparkling water sponsor. I'm not supposed to see that, but yeah. If you're interested, I've hit up so many of them and no response. So, but I drink one every show. I need one I can commit to. So,
absolutely, yeah, we're always open to shout out any local business or any business at all, really. So, yeah, if you have a business you want us to shout out, let us know. We'll get on
happy to get on it.
Yeah, you got anything for me today?
I don't. Do you have anything?
I'm wearing this shirt very specifically because I'm trying to manifest that the Dallas Mavericks will sign this guy back, Dwight Powell.
Man, I didn't even know he had a shirt.
Oh, it's very hard to find. I'll tell you. It's not mine. It's my wife's shirt.
Of course, she loves him.
She loves him. She loves him. And I love him as well because I enjoy the stats that come with Dwight Powell because they're going to put a statue outside for that guy. And the statue is going to be him getting an elbow right to the face.
Yeah.
Because for somebody 6'9", which there have been a lot of 6'9" players in the NBA, of course, his ability to get hit in the face is remarkable for a guy who's not like a Tony Allen type, or like Bruce Bowen. Like, he's not a defender. He just gets hit in the face every single game. There was a guy on Twitter who was keeping stats for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's led the league for a decade in a row of face plants or getting hit in the face for sure. Yeah.
But hey, I'm hoping he comes back, manifesting it. I don't think my wife will ever watch a basketball game or Mavs game again if he doesn't come back. She just, she loves that guy so much. So, but anyway, yeah, we can get into this show. We have a great show for everybody today. We're going to go over kind of as Summer League settles down, or I guess it's over. We're going to talk about winners and losers from Summer League and kind of who increased their fantasy value versus which one's diminished, I guess, in fantasy value. A key note that we want to put out here is that this is not like this player is not going to be good in the next level or anything like that. It's just like they didn't show what they particularly were billed to show, and it just won't translate to fantasy value at all in our regard. So I think it's an important note to kind of say that. But I think we'll kick it off with some fantasy losers, as we always do. We want to get the bums out of the way first.
Absolutely. Summer League losers. And I think to your point, and we'll get to the winners as well. I mean, it doesn't mean that we think they're going to be all-stars for the rest of their career either. But, I love when people don't get the whole context of our show. They're just like, you guys are clowns. I'm like, well, listen to the rest of the show, and then you still have beef. We can talk about it. But, yeah, we'll start with the losers, and we'll start from the bottom, as we like to do.
We'll start from the bottom. So we had 5 in each list, but I added last minute a throw in here.
A special appearance
throw in just for this particular team. And I mentioned them in the kickoff, the New Orleans Pelicans, who I can't understand how. I guess I do understand why they're so bad, because they don't play Fears or Queen in Summer League. Not a single game. They didn't even, I don't think, showed up to Summer League in Vegas. I don't know, but and they said it's because they wanted to prioritize long-term development and recovery.
Yeah, not short-term development.
What? Why wouldn't you play in Summer League? Why is that not long-term development? Get out there and play and show us what you. Anyway, they turned to old Marquise Noel as their point guard, who is about 5'4", and so they have no real guards on this team, no real centers on their team as far as like the Summer League team. So I don't see why they wouldn't have at least played them a couple games. Like, I get it if you play 2 or 3 games and you both average, like the Wizards. The Wizards played 3. We'll talk about them a little bit in our mentions, but they played 3 second-year players or 2 second-year players, and they scored 25 points each in like 3 games, and they said, "You're done." Like, that's enough.
Well, that's pretty common for these younger guys. You know, second year, even third year, sometimes depending on play time that they've gotten. That you want to roll them out there and see what you got, and I guess maybe they feel confident enough that they know what they have in those 2 guys where they don't want to spend them 2-3 games. But I feel like especially for that roster that doesn't have it's got some vets on it that'll start, but it's a bunch of young guys that haven't really developed yet.
They're both 20, maybe. So it's like,
he's not even 20 yet.
So it's like, what? It's not like you're tired. You're 20 years old. You should be roaring to go, like I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, that was just kind of a special throw in there. I can't understand why you don't take this opportunity to develop your young talent in a situation where you're supposed to.
Especially when you're giving up, first round picks for Queen. I'm like, that to me is a sign that, you're invested in this guy enough to take away from your potential long-term success. Why isn't he part of that immediate plan, especially getting those minutes?
Exactly. And I thought about like, well, they didn't get any picks this year, I don't think. I mean, maybe a second rounder or something like that, but like there was nobody to prioritize. It's not like they traded in and got this guy and they're like, well, we don't want to play Fears because we don't want to I don't know. It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, but that's why we think that they shouldn't be responsible for any team building. It's just, they're horrible. So, but anyway, getting into our main list, we'll start at the bottom like we always do, and we'll start with Darren Peterson. Let's say I'll go over some averages that he had. He averaged 20.7 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1.3 blocks, 4.7 turnovers. So basically a 1-to-1 turnover to assist ratio. He shot 31% from the field on 17 shots a game. That's insane. That's a lot. 23% from 3 on 4.3 shots per game, and then 76% from the free throw line.
And this jersey behind me is cringing at these numbers.
Yeah.
Could never. I mean, so basically he had pretty high volume usage for the couple games that he played, right? Which, and like you mentioned before, the note of doesn't mean we don't think he's going to be a good player, but for somebody being so hyped, especially as a number 2 pick, potential number 1 pick, coming into Summer League, we really should see dominance from a guy like that, in my opinion. And there were flashes for sure of him taking over, scoring, looking like the guy that everybody wants him to be, says he is. But I think you highlighted a couple key stats, 1 being the turnovers and 2 being the 3-point field goal percentage. I'd have to double check what his minutes were for Summer League. I think they were
28.2, and he played 3 games.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think in that sort of scenario, that setting in Summer League, we'd like to see more games played. I mean, I know they played 4 at minimum, so would have been nice to see him in that additional game. I guess they feel like they've seen enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if he played any. I think he may have played 1 in Vegas, because they also played in the Salt Lake City, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Kind of had that weird format.
Yeah. So he did play there, all those games, I think, and then he played like 1 game in Vegas against Devonsa, and Devonsa showed him up. So
slightly, I guess some people would argue, but I feel like it was a pretty solid showing from Devonsa. But I mean, and that's, we've talked about this with Peterson, where we see the flashes, so we know that there's potential for him to be, a microwave scorer, somebody that's coming in and shooting hot streak sort of shooting. That's all that he's really in there for. He's not necessarily a big playmaker. The 4 assists was encouraging,
Yeah.
but at the same time, that's double his college rate of
More.
assists per game. But his minutes were 28. That's probably more than he's going to see this season. I would say probably be more in the mid to low 20s. I don't think he's going to have those type of assist numbers. And I do think those turnover numbers, while they're a little bit inflated, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could average 3 turnovers a game. I mean, Trae Young is notorious for that as well, and he's not going to have the ball in his hands nearly as much as Trae. But I think that's pretty real. I do think the high turnovers is something that we could expect from him, and I do think the field goal percentage might be maybe a little low, but
Yeah.
it could also be somebody that he's not a very efficient shooter. We haven't seen enough of him in his college years to know how efficient he will be.
Yeah, I just think I'm with you. The efficiency was tough, but he's young. It's summer league. It's his first time, pretty much never playing with any of these guys on the team. So it's like it's a hard thing to judge on. But the turnovers to assists is rough. It's like if I'm gonna put this in like fantasy terms. Like if I was thinking about originally like one of my last couple picks, maybe if Peterson's there, I'm thinking about maybe I'll take him or something like that. But if his turnover is going to be that bad, like it's not worth that. And his efficiency is not going to be good. Like, I don't know. I trust his shot and I trust his shot creation. But I don't know. The turnover scared me a little bit.
Yeah, especially when you're kind of needing him for that scoring. And if there's no way he averages 25 points per game in the regular season. So if you take out some of that, even if he averaged 15, which would be a pretty solid rookie season, I can't see him getting close to 4 assists, and I could see 2 to 3 turnovers a game, relatively inefficient shooting. It's just not necessarily somebody that you need to be holding on to or taking that chance on in the last couple rounds. If you want to try for the potential, I get it, and we mentioned that before, but I do think his value could have elevated after watching him in Summer League, and to me it was kind of justified why definitely not number 1 pick, but also somebody that I'm not super high on going into the fantasy season.
Right. I mean, in college, it was, this kind of be the last thing, but before we move on, but in college, his whole thing was, his assists were low, like averaging like 1.4 assists a game or something crazy low. But it was like, the teammates around him weren't great. And it's like, okay, I get that. So then you move to Summer League where these are all pros and they've been pros for a couple of years, some of them. And so it's like your talent definitely moved up and you still only averaged 4 assists a game. And it's like, I don't like that. it makes me nervous going into a season. Like if I'm drafting you as a guard, I'm expecting points from him for sure. And I'm expecting assists. Like I'm not expecting anything else. I'm not expecting him to get 8-9 rebounds a game and a couple blocks. And I am steals, which 1 steal a game is fine, I guess. But for 28 minutes, I would hope it would be a little more if you're going to be billed as like a really good defender. But that's kind of where I sit with it. It's just like it made me go from like I would have drafted him probably in like the last couple rounds, maybe in this draft, in the next fantasy draft, but to like I'm not going to do it probably.
Yeah.
But 4th on this list, we'll move up to Keaton Wagler from the Clippers, which he had a good stretch of games. We'll say this: he averaged.
He had moments for sure.
Yeah, right. In 4 games, 28 minutes, he averaged 18, 3 rebounds, 2.8 assists, so 3 assists. Didn't get a steal, like not 1 steal, not 1 block. Like it was half a steal and 0.3 blocks. 2.3 turnovers, which is not bad. On 40% shooting, 33 from 3.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He looked like he got pushed around a lot. And in the first game in Summer League, he played against Acuff, who guarded him a lot of the game. And that was his worst game, which we'll get to. we'll get to Acuff a little later, but
not too much later.
Yeah, not too much, but yeah, if you're getting shut down by Acuff, that's not good, to say the least.
Yeah, I think I was a lot more optimistic on Wagler than you were when we did our our rookie shows and
Yeah.
some of those rankings, which, like you said, there were certainly moments where you're like, okay, yeah, I see why he's a top 5 pick or top 6 pick.
Yeah.
He can shoot quickly. He's got a quick release. He's got a good stroke from three. I mean, he had that one game where he was just flame throwing out there.
Yeah. Right.
But overall, yeah, the weaknesses are pretty, I wouldn't say glaring because he's overall talented, but what he's known to be weak at, being defense, small frame, even passing ability, none of it was really qualmed by his summer league performance, right? So, like, yeah, he might have averaged, I think he averaged, 21 points in the last 3 games or something like that, which, that's fine enough. That's kind of what you'd expect from a top 5 pick in the summer league. But his game is not developed enough yet to where I could see him playing super meaningful minutes for the Clippers, especially fantasy wise. Maybe they'll really lean into their development. We'll see how the Kawhi stuff goes, and they may just kind of have a lost season at some level and roll him out there. But I don't know. It definitely discouraged me from what I thought his potential could be going into this year to what he might actually be, which is for now just mostly a 3-point shooter that is kind of streaky and it's not going to offer you too much else across the board. And he may be too small to really guard anybody to where he'll be a liability on that side.
Yeah. And you would hope that, like, his 3-point shooting was okay, 33% on six attempts a game. It's okay, it's not great, but it's all of those things you talked about combined with his lack of athleticism. He doesn't have an explosive step. Once he does get past guys, like on a rip through or something, they catch up easily to him, and he can't finish above the rim. So it's like he finishes layups, they're going to get blocked a lot. I just don't see. I don't know. He needs to put strength on. He needs to get a little more athletic. And but like we've seen players not be athletic and still score. Like it's not that he can't. It's just that we're talking about this season and this season only, and he is about as far off the fantasy board as I can put him.
Yeah, definitely compared to where at least I had him. I know you weren't quite as high, so I don't want to speak for you there, but I do. Sure. I will definitely drop him in my rankings for this year. Maybe Dynasty looks different. We give him some time to develop, but yeah, I'm kind of out on him now. Not going to be drafting him anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Moving up to number 3 on our list is, as we mentioned, we're going to talk about him soon, Darius Acuff, who, the numbers look okay. On 3 games, 27 minutes a game, 19 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 4.7 turnovers, though. It's a lot of turnovers. 37% from the field, which is really low, on 17 shots a game.
Yeah, you said 37%?
Yeah, 37%. Yeah.
From the field,
yeah, 26% from 3. So on, 26% on 6.3 threes a game. So efficiency was atrocious.
Yeah, and that's dog water.
Yeah, it wasn't great for him. Playmaking wasn't great, lots of turnovers. But again, turnovers are tough because you're playing with guys you've never played with before. You'll never play with them again, really.
Potentially, yeah.
Well, the Kings, you never know.
The Kings, you never know.
It could be their roster.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
For the most part, I was just unimpressed. I don't know. For a guy who was supposed to be this pick and roll offensive guru, playmaker, he just didn't show any of that. And his defense. Well, I'll let you cover his defense, but it was horrible.
Yeah, which honestly, I think I kind of brought you a little bit lower on him, I think, when we talked about him last. And I think we were open to the possibility of him, one, he's going to have an incredible opportunity, we think, off the bat in Sacramento, and that'll elevate some of his fantasy game. But we were really looking for improvement, definitely on defense. I mean, this guy can't guard anybody out there. Yeah, he somewhat locked up Wagler, but this guy's like 175 pounds and like you said, has no first step. So yeah, you just kind of stick with him and make it a little difficult for him to get a shot up. You're going to be fine. So yeah, he does have, the excuse that there's nobody really to pass to out there for him. And he's out there to kind of show off his offensive game. And I think we definitely wanted to see more of the pick and roll, but who's going to run the pick and roll with him in summer league?
True.
Maybe we'll see some improvement with Sabonis and some of the other guys that are rolling out there. But I don't know. I'm still pretty out on him. I would love to see him act like he cares at all on defense, and so far I'm not seeing that at all. I mean, just like we're kind of criticizing Peterson's motor for trying. It's A-Cuff's only 5 times worse
on defense for sure. There are montages out there, which is sad, of his off-ball defense is worse than his on-ball defense, which is insane to think about. It's like he just loses. He's a ball watcher. He just loses track of everybody on the floor and on the defensive end, and it's crazy. It's crazy that a point guard does that, right? So like point guards are usually, they're a little bit more in tune with what's going on. Yet he just mental lapse all the time on defense. It's insane. But like I mentioned, and why I kind of still had him pretty high on my list is because you getting beat on defense doesn't affect fantasy points. So
True.
I still trust his ability to play with Sabonis in that offense. It's going to be around him and Sabonis unless they trade him. I don't know what the Kings are doing, but it feels like they cut DeRozan. So it feels like they're making way for A-Cuff to be like, you're the guy. Here we go.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that points and assists and that kind of stuff is still on the table for him. So,
which I think it can be. Obviously 37-27 from the field. That's abysmal. And
that's not good.
I do think there's opportunity for that to improve. Like we've seen him shoot better than that. It's not out of the question, but really the one rebound to me is also astounding. I'm like, you're out there for close to 30 minutes a game. You should not, I don't care who you are, you need more than one rebound. Like at least give me 2, maybe 3. Like, you're a point guard. I'm not expecting a lot, but that to me, that just shows I'm not in the right position for a defensive rebound. So I'm not boxing my guy out, or I'm not, crashing the boards at all. And definitely not on the offensive end. We know he's not doing that. So I'm like, 1 rebound a game and played 3 or 4 games. Like that's terrible. That means some games he probably had none.
Yeah, he played 3 games, 27.4 minutes a game.
Yeah,
which is a lot.
That's just unacceptable. And obviously in the season that may look different. Maybe his effort wasn't completely there in the summer league, but
I think it only gets worse. I mean, especially with rebounders like Sabonis and Cardwell and these guys and Renault.
It's definitely going to be difficult for him to get a ton of rebounds.
Keegan Murray. I mean, Keegan Murray's a good rebounder. He's
I don't know.
Only going to get worse.
I can't imagine he gets a ton. Definitely not a ton of blocks. Definitely not rebounds. I mean, steals, he might sneak into a couple, but we're really banking on this opportunity and these minutes per game for him. And I still think he has one of the highest opportunities of these rookies to play, and that's probably why he'll be draftable. But man, he is not somebody I'm excited to draft by any means.
No, probably not looking at. He's somebody I'll put on my list as far as like to keep an eye on as the season goes, and how involved in the offense is he going to be? Like, are they just spamming pick and rolls with him and Sabonis over and over and over again? Like, okay, cool. Then I'll definitely pick you up at that point.
Yeah, 17 times a game. That could be worth it, but you might lose a lot of points from that.
Yeah, for sure. Number 2 on this list, who probably honestly should be number 1 if the guy at number 1 didn't get drafted above him. Is Dalen Swain, who just, I mean, I'm going to read these numbers, and it's just like, I can't believe he was a first-round pick, honestly.
There's numbers for him?
There aren't, barely. 4 games played, 28 minutes a game. Keep that in mind, 28 minutes a game. 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, less than a steal, way less than a block, 2 turnovers, whatever. 13% from the field, not 3, 0% from 3. Didn't make a single 3 on 8 shot attempts a game, and 71% from the free throw line. Oh well, big blow.
Not good either, but
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but it's like that, 28 minutes a game. I mean, give me a break. That is insane. That you play that many minutes a game for 4 games and you average 4 points. That's insane. Now, I will say. Yeah, zeros across the board. Poor guy needs to get on a team for 1 more year. Do you know his story at all? I don't want to get on side, but anyway, and it could be a lot that this team was just Caleb Wilson focused, and maybe you got sidetracked, but it's not going to help him any going to the pros, going to the NBA season. So
No, and this is a team that he could actually play for in some capacity this season. Like maybe
could
he's
have.
7th or 8th, but after that showing, it's like, well, what's this guy giving us? Yeah, he's kind of a long and slender frame, and somebody that kind of profiles as kind of a 3-and-D guy. But man, if you're going to shoot 0 from 3 and 13 from the
0%.
field, and you're not really involved at all in the offense, I mean, watching some of those games, it's like kind of pass and get out of the way, and then he's just standing there.
He shot he only averaged 2 threes a game, which is horrible. There's a guy on the Mavs summer league team, and I'm gonna tangent a little bit, but Toby Lawal, who has never been a 3-point shooter in his career, he came out there and let that thing fly every game that he played, and he bricked, airballed, all kinds of stuff. But the point is that he wanted to go out there and try to show that he could shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Turned out he can't, but I figured that Swain would do the same thing, because that was his big thing coming out of college, was that, his jump shot, the stroke looks bad and efficiency's not great. And so it's like, I was hoping that he would come out and be like, I'm gonna show people. And he didn't try and didn't do it. So
yeah, definitely a disappointing showing. I don't think he was draftable to begin with, but
no, I don't think so.
At least we thought, man, this guy has a chance to be something. We were relatively hyped about him getting drafted there with opportunity, and
even defensively, I thought he had the athleticism to play good defense. Average less than a steal and less than a block. It's like, that's atrocious.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of good things in the future for Swain, unfortunately, after that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, because I am a Texas fan. I liked him at Texas, but unless his athleticism and getting to the basket can carry him, but it didn't do that in summer league, so I don't see it translating at all to the pros, to the regular season.
For sure.
So, but anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, that's all I got on him. Honestly, can't spell Dalen without an L, unfortunately.
There you go. Yeah, true. So number 1 on our list, the biggest loser to us in fantasy value is Ade Mara. He for 3 games, 25 minutes a game, basically, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, less than a steal, 1 block a game, which that's the big number for me. 67% from the field, 43% around the rim, which was a key note for me. And he didn't shoot any threes, basically, which I thought he could be a little bit of a stretch big, a little bit. That would differentiate him from like Hardenstein or something like that, but turns out not the case. And 33% from the free throw line.
Yeah, that really stuck with me too. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. I'm not I do, like, yes, he has a motor, he wants to play hard, and he's out there giving it his all, but watching some of these highlights, some of these games, one, he's only going to play 20, 22 minutes a game, I think, max for the Thunder. Probably less.
Not even. Season. I don't think, with Sorber coming back and Hardenstein and Chet and all these guys, I don't think he plays at all.
To your point, though, with the free throw percentage, with the shooting around the rim, and just watching his frame, he's not built for what they need him to be right now. And all the hype of drafting him as a Wemby stopper and all of that, it's like, this guy is going to get walked all over by Wemby. I mean, Jokic is going to make him look silly, and Jokic is kind of slow off his foot, right? So watching Mara out there, it's like this guy's feet are glued to the ground. Like, he's just not moving quick enough at all. Even the pick and rolls where he was successful, like, man, it's painful to watch how slow he is. I know he's huge, but I don't know. I just don't have a lot of confidence that he's going to be in the right spot at the right time. And then when he beats you there, he's not quite strong enough really to finish over these guys, especially bigger guys that he's going to be playing against. And his shot does not look good whatsoever when he's open. It's wonky, and he's not going to get it off in time, especially when you got guys like Wemby that are going to be there to block it. So I don't know, man. I thought he was a lot better. Obviously in college he played quite well, but watching him against some of these summer league guys, I'm like, man, this guy's nothing special.
Yeah, no, he did not impress me at all. Just because, I mean, like, for everything you mentioned, and like, he looked gassed, and that was the whole thing about him in college, is that he could not,
Hmm.
they couldn't keep him on the floor because he's tired. He only averaged like 2 or 3 fouls a game, and
Hmm.
it's like, I get 24 minutes is a good amount of minutes if you're going to play that like on a role player. But like everybody else on this list, the negative list, 28, 27, 28, 28. So he's
Yeah.
playing 4 minutes less than them, and he looked exhausted out there. Just bad. I mean, he just looked slow footed, like you said, and just couldn't get anything going. So
Yeah.
eh,
Some of his one thing I'll give him credit for, his passing is relatively decent. It seems like he has some good vision out there, seeing where his teammates are, to where when you think he should put it in the basket, he sees the open guy and he does
yeah,
get it to them most of the time. But I'm like, you're in the position where I need you to put the ball in the basket. As
yeah,
somebody who was tall growing up and played that position not very well, over and over again, the coach was like, when you get it there, you need to score. Like, I don't care. Don't look to pass. I don't care if that guy's open. We got it to you in the right spot. You finish it. And
yeah,
his first instinct is not to dunk it all over you. It's let me look real quick, hesitate, pass, or let me then go up. And then it's, kind of a wonky shot. I just was not impressed watching him play. There was some decent moments in there for sure, but I don't know. Overall, it's just seems a little young, a little bit not ready for the game, and his body's not quite where it needs to be either.
no, no. In this Thunder offense, it's not gonna benefit him either, because they're not going to look for him to be a playmaker. They're not going to try to like
Yeah.
hit him in the high post and let him like do Jokic style things.
No, I mean,
And it's
barely
just
do that with Chet now.
right. And Chet Hardenstein, they're both better playmakers than he is. So if they're going to do it, they're not going to do it with him. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't see a way that he provides fantasy value at all.
Hmm.
I'm higher on Sorber coming in than
Hmm.
him, but we can get to
For
that
sure.
on a later date. But no, but I think it's also important to say before we move on to the winners, or the winners of the summer league, that star players in the league, they do struggle in summer league. A couple that I have listed here was like Jalen Brunson averaged 6-7 points a game on 22% shooting from the
Hmm.
field and 30% from three. Guys like Derrick Rose, who wins MVP, and he averages 9 points, 29% from the field, 0% from three. Now, he was never a 3-point shooter in
Yeah.
his prime, but anyway. Jaylen Brown, bad efficiency, 16 points a game, 32.8% from the field. It's like there are chances for these guys to turn it around. We're
For
not
sure.
saying that, but just going into this season, they're not looking good. But
Yeah.
so, but we'll do a pivot here, and we'll go over some of our winners from the summer league. And there were, honestly, going through like making this list, there were a lot that I was like, oh, maybe
Hmm.
this guy, maybe this guy. And we'll get to some honorable mentions for like vets and stuff, but we tried to stay more rookie based.
Yeah.
Number,
And shout out to Brian first before you start. He did write a nice article about these
oh
these five guys that we're going through. So check us out on the website, fsan.com.
yeah,
Should be posted, I think, tomorrow, which would be Thursday
yeah,
for those watching this later. But it's a good article. Good job, Brian.
yeah. I tried my best, put it together and make it as close to what we were going to put out here, and it's fun to do, and so we want to try to do it more.
Hmm.
We're also going to try to post it on like Sellout Crowds, which is
Hmm.
a website that kind of we're trying to get started, I think, or something like that. So
Yeah, it's
um,
underway.
yeah, so that's an exciting place to go and kind of connect with us and chat about fantasy sports. So if you want to do that, go over there, talk to us about what's going on, and we'll be happy to interact with y'all.
Hmm.
Uh, but now let's get into this list. Number 5, Braden Burries. Put him on the list.
Yes.
A lot of options here, like we talked about for the Bucks. He averages 23.5 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, four assists, 2 steals, 1 block, no base, 1 turnover, okay, 0.8.
Hmm.
50% from the field on 16 shots a game, which is pretty good. 36% from three on 5.5 threes a game. So bad free throw shooting, 67% free throw shooting. But I will say, Summer League was a little different because of the way they did it. They were doing it very much in the G League, I guess, style rules where
Yep.
one shot counts for two and then one shot counts for three. So less volume going into these than I imagine if you give him double the shot attempts that he would have maybe been able to bring this percentage up. But nonetheless, not really that important.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all we have to complain about with summer league, like it was a masterful summer league in my opinion. He looked every bit the part and definitely looked like the player that I watched in college. Obviously, being an Arizona guy, watched him a little bit more than others, but I've been very impressed with him overall. It really makes me wish the Mavs took him at 9. Honestly, looking at our depth chart, and I was talking to my friend Spencer about it recently, and we were like, man, who are the Mavs guards even on the roster now that they've made some deals and stuff? And I'm like, he would have been such a nice backup point guard for us. And not that I'm down on Merez, but focusing on Burries, just what he was able to do in the summer league. This guy looks like he's NBA ready. Obviously playing against a little bit weaker competition, but if you can look like that, his numbers across the board were just solid. Like he looked involved in all the plays, defensively, offensively. He's not getting pushed around out there. He's able to drive to the basket, shoot outside a little bit. I mean, pretty much in line with his college numbers. So I was very intrigued by what he was able to put forward.
No, for sure. I mean, for me, it was always for him. Like in regards to Burries, it was always I'm very impressed with his like NBA ready body and NBA ready like style and that kind of thing. So watching him just go straight through the chest of like multiple defenders and not just like weak guys, like whatever. Like these are 2 or 3 year vets. Like he's going through them to win games. I mean, he won the game winner he had. He basically just ran over that guy. And finishes a easy layup. And it's like, if he's going to be able to do stuff like that, like use his body the way he can, then I like him a lot, especially in like a future, Brunson type player there. So he definitely rose up my like if I'm sitting there at the end. But the problem is being in Milwaukee, a lot of guards. They just get Tyler Hero, So it's like, who's he going to unseat? Is he going to unseat KPJ? I don't know. Is he going to unseat Ryan Rollins? Probably not at the beginning of the season, but he has a chance to, if he can show that he can shoot close to 40% and play make a little bit. I mean, I believe he's got a good chance.
Absolutely. And I knowing how he played in college, like I think he's going to give him hell, to get that roster spot and prove that he belongs in that position. So I'm pretty confident that he'll play meaningful minutes at some point in the season. It just may take a little bit longer than, the first half. So somebody that I'm kind of keeping an eye on, definitely interested in Dynasty, but someone in a redraft, maybe you don't need to grab him to start off the year, but just kind of monitor him closely and see how the Bucks rotations play out. Obviously no Doc Rivers anymore, so we won't have some shenanigans to deal with, but I'm very intrigued by him and long-term prospect, definitely high on my list.
No, absolutely. Going on to the next guy on this list who I can't believe didn't win Summer League MVP, but he doesn't. Malik Thomas, who was taken early second round by the Cavs. Steal of the draft right now, I think. Like absolute should have been taken. I don't know, but who knows how that career goes. But anyway, 27 points a game, three rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, no blocks, 1.5 turnovers, 50% from the field on 20 shots a game. Oh man, 44% on 8 threes a game and 100% from the free throw line. Yeah, and this guy was insane. He could not be stopped at all. Breaking defenders down, being able to not just catch and shoot. He shot 8 threes a game. I get that, but it was off the dribble stuff. It was getting into the lane. It was defending. He's point of attack defender basically every single game. Like he was all over the place. And I was just blown away by his stuff, like the way he played.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's really the Arkansas guard that everybody should have grabbed, honestly.
Yeah, clearly.
Just the shooting splits, while they may not stick at that high level, I mean, on that high of volume, it's at least intriguing as, with the Cavs, it's going to be tough to carve out a role right away, unless there's injuries or something. But, man, with that sort of performance, that you could easily be pushing to get into the rotation, kind of like a Jalen Tyson type role last year. Maybe not quite that many minutes, but that's going to be really hard for them to keep him out of their roster. Maybe he starts in the G League, but that was definitely. I agree. I think definitely Summer League MVP just based on his performance strictly. I know they try to give it to the tournament champion or whatever. But
Yeah, right.
his performances. I mean, would he have 35 in that game?
Yeah.
Almost averaging 30 points that's kind of what you're looking for standouts right there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the efficiency like we talked about. It's like, yeah, players have come in and averaged 30 points a game or something like that, but then it's like, oh, well, they shot, 30% from three, and they shot 10 threes a game or something like that, something crazy. But the efficiency was great for him. And if he can translate that into like role player minutes, I don't know, with his defense, they may look at it and be like, hey, let's get rid of Strus or some of these Merrill maybe. I don't know if he can shoot as good. Now Merrill's like a crazy shooter, so maybe they don't get rid of Merrill, but like Strus, he can definitely take his position.
Sure. And it's going to depend on what LeBron does, obviously, because there's talk of like they may have to move Strus in order to take on LeBron in some capacity, but I'm kind of not thinking LeBron's going there anyways. To your point, like Dean Wade's gone, Keon Ellis is gone. Some players that played relatively meaningful minutes for them last season that they didn't really necessarily have a replacement for. So I could see somebody taking, even if it's 12 to 15 minutes, if they're able to get him in there and he keeps that up, like that's going to carve out more playing time. And I think he's a better defender than Merrill is, and maybe not quite as good of a shooter, but the way he shot,
could develop it.
It could, absolutely. So I think he's somebody to watch for sure. I don't think I'm drafting him right away just because the opportunity's not presented itself yet. But man.
Now these next three guys are above who we had below them because they are draftable to me. Like I'm looking at taking these guys. Anyway, we'll get to it. But third is Cam Boozer, who goes for 18.5 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.8 steals, no blocks really, 3.3 turnovers, which is a lot. 1-to-1 is turnover to assist ratio, but you're not asking him to be a primary playmaker, I don't think. 45% from the field on 14 shots a game, and then 33% from 3 on 4 threes a game, which I mean, those numbers are okay, like the percentages, but I'm more impressed with the fact that he was the number one guy on that team, and it was clear as day from the get-go, and he proved that he could handle it well and be able to distribute and be able to take that attention and spread the ball around. It made Cedric Coward look great, which he looked great on his own, in a way, but like I think it had a lot to do with Cam Boozer's gravity. But anyway, so I was very, very impressed with his like just physicality too. I was kind of worried for going from college to the NBA. Like, was he going to be able to bully people like he did in college? Yes, he can.
Against, like you said, inferior competition, but at the same time, that's really what we were looking for, because we knew the opportunity is going to be there. We know the volume. He's going to have pretty good sample coming into the season to where he's going to get those minutes and opportunity. But like you said, is he going to be as dominant as he showed in college on the NBA stage? And I'm not super concerned with the efficiency. I mean, we kind of expect that from rookies to not be the most efficient players out there. I mean, Cooper wasn't, number one in efficiency last year by any means, but if they're trusting him to be that number one guy, they roll him out there, and he looked every bit the part. And I can really bet on him improving his shooting splits. He's going to be a double threat. I think, probably nightly, just looking at the way that they played him. Yeah, they signed a couple guys that might take some more minutes than we expected with Stewart, but losing Aldama, I feel like he slots in nicely at the 4. So I'm not overly concerned about that.
I mean, he's a night one starter. I think I don't see why they wouldn't put him as a starter. I still am worried a little bit about the fit between him and Edey, but his shooting 33%, that's not the greatest, but he showed that he can shoot it and he will shoot it. So like I trust the fit a little more now because I know that he's willing to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
So
I mean, is it going to be any worse than JJJ was
No,
out there
probably
shooting
not.
those shots? I don't think so. So
No.
in my eyes, they're similar, not in how they play the game, but like stat profiles might be kind of similar where it's a, 18-6, 18-7, and then some games where I think Boozer has an opportunity to be more of a 2010 guy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily right away, but I think his profile is built to be more like that than JJJ was.
And I think it's important to say like Edie isn't foreign to playing with other like bigs like this. Like in college, he played, I forget his name, but the power forward he had next to him was kind of like this, where he was inside dominant, could shoot a little bit, but but they played well together. Almost won a national championship. So like, he's not foreign to being able to do big to big passing and stuff like that. So I do trust it a little more there. But and also Edie is injury prone, so there's a lot of chances that like he's not going to play most of the season. And if Boozer can stay relatively healthy, then it only ups his value.
Yeah, I mean, I just go back to your point. He looked every bit like a number one option that they want him to be. So, I mean, what else is this franchise going to do? Everybody else is gone. So I'm expecting big things from him and very, very encouraged even with the lack of efficiency.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Number 2 on our list is Yaxel Lindenberg, the Summer League MVP.
Yeah.
14.8 points a game, 6.8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.5 steals, 0.7 blocks, on 46% from the field, 12.3 shots a game. And then he shot 35% from 3.
Yeah.
So the thing about Yaxel, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, of course, he's 24 years old playing against. It's like, I don't think they realize that, like, he's not the only 24-year-old out there, for one. And he made them all look like children. He was, I mean, his ball handling was great. His passing was great. He looked so confident out there. Like, he just was kind of like just going with it. And then, like, whatever came to him. And for me, it just showed that, like, he's a day one potential starter for Golden State, depending on how their roster shakes out with if LeBron goes there or whatever, who knows. But I think he could easily contribute close to double-double numbers right away.
Yeah, I'm definitely impressed with him. I mean, not only on the court, but, man, off the court, this guy's trash talk is
it's nuts.
Almost unmatched, especially for a rookie. I mean,
him and Draymond.
This guy, they're going to do super well together. I don't know. Just he's the kind of guy that his stats aren't necessarily like they didn't completely wow me. They were solid for sure.
Yeah,
like he had a good summer league, but it's just that guy that he just beats you, and you're like, he's not better than me, but he keeps winning, And like that's kind of how it was watching him beat some of these other rookies. I'm like, he's just a winner, and I think he's going to fit very seamlessly in with the Warriors offense. Doesn't have to shoot 40% from 3. They're not going to need him to do that, but he's shown that he's quite serviceable from the 3. He can get to the rim. He's very mobile. It's the kind of player that fits well with Steph and Draymond's offense, and I think he's got great opportunity coming in to that roster. So, yeah, I'm impressed with his play overall. Like, that's what you want to see from somebody, regardless of age. Just come in there and bully guys and move them out of the way, get to the cup, finish strongly, and shoot at an average clip. That's pretty solid summer league for him.
Yeah, and it was also the fact that he did it timely. It wasn't like he was like, oh well, he scores everything in the first quarter and then whatever he just coasts whatever. It was like when they needed it, he would show up and have like a spurt of 6 or 7 points, and then he would kind of have 1 or 2 here and then blah blah, and then by the end of the game you had 14, and it was all when they needed it. So he just looked like a vet out there, honestly. It's kind of crazy to see, as a rookie.
Gives you great confidence going into the season that, you can just plug and play him, and maybe he's not going to play 30 minutes off the rip, but I could see him comfortably playing low to mid-20s, and that's definitely somebody that's fantasy relevant. So he could easily take minutes from Podziemski or, whatever Guy Santos and wing that they're going to throw out there that, they're about same talent-wise, probably. Lindenberg might even have higher ceiling. So
Well,
why not roll him out there?
yeah, for sure. And that Golden State still has a Porzingis, huh?
Yeah, they do.
And so,
He'll
but
be more of a 4.
right, but I think he'll miss some time, and so obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a chance to maybe like sit him for a while and
Mm-hmm.
keep him healthy. With a guy like Lindenberg who can come in and be an impact player right away. So that's important to kind of note.
For sure.
As you're looking in the fantasy. Now, is he draftable? Maybe, depending on how the roster shapes up. But for me, probably not draftable. Just somebody I'm keeping on the back, like really high up there on my list as far as to keep an eye on.
Yeah, if it's a 12-round draft, I'd consider him in 12th, probably,
right.
or somewhere around that. If you could drop him for that month, like we've talked about. But I don't know. He's definitely increased his value from what I kind of anticipated him having coming into summer league. So I consider him definitely a winner with not only the accolades but just the way he looked out on the court.
Yeah, for sure. Number one on our list and the most impressive guy that we thought was Caleb Wilson for the Bulls. 23.5 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2.5 blocks, 5 turnovers, which is a lot. But he had the ball in his hands a ton. And here's where it gets me. 50% from the field on 17 shots a game, 42% from the three-point line on 8 threes a game. Now, I won't point out his free throw numbers because 33% from the free throw line is brutal.
Yeah.
But the thing for him and why he's so impressive and why he was the number one for me is his big knock was they didn't know how he was going to shoot. Is he going to be able to create shots? That kind of thing. And he showed that he is capable of shooting right away.
Oh,
that was very important.
Out there flame throwing from 3. This guy was putting up shots that I didn't even think that he was going to shoot, like that at all in his career. But he's like, no, I'm out here to be better than Jordan with these shots. That's kind of his mantra right now, and it's crazy to me that this guy is shooting 8 threes a game. He barely shot threes in college.
Yeah.
But man, his stocks too, like defensively, he looked locked in. And that was something we had this conversation with other people on this network that were like, this guy is a defensive stud.
Oh, I know he is.
We were so high on him defensively, and he looked every bit the part, not only tracking down like his own turnovers to get blocks, but just as a defender on ball, off ball, he was prepared and locked in. And I mean, 3.8 stocks, that's not going to stick in fantasy purposes, but I wouldn't be so sure that it's not close to 3. So that's super valuable,
especially with the minutes he's going to be playing. I mean, he's going to play a ton. That Chicago team needs him to be honestly the number one guy for them, if not right away. I think. But he's been super impressive, and I was just like, his shooting just took me back, especially the first game. He scored like 37 points, and he shot made 7 threes like that game. And I was taken aback. And he had, I mean, he showed also his athleticism, which is what he was drafted that high for. I mean, dunking on people, like he was getting feisty, like he was talking trash. Like it was amazing. It was great. I was so impressed with everything that he kind of showed that he could do. And so I think he could easily come out of this and be like, wow, I can't believe he wasn't number one. Now, this draft is crazy, so maybe maybe he's right where he was supposed to be. But
I like where he was drafted, but I think just the opportunity for him in Chicago is sky high. And seeing him shoot the way he did, they're going to pair him with Claxton and Jalen Smith, some of these bigs. That's exactly what they need, is another stretch big guy that can get to the rack if they need to, but can also play outside. Like, I mean, Vucevic, as much crap as we give him, he at least had that ability to shoot the 3 and stretch the floor a little bit, and that helped the offense quite a bit with guys that like Giddey and at the time other guards that they need that. And I think this team desperately needs shooting, and if he can keep anything like that up, even upper 30s from 3, 50% of the field's good too. Like I think that's way more than we built him for, and I think his draft stock certainly rose after that. I mean, going from probably undraftable to I'm looking at him in the 9th or 10th round, maybe sooner.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I totally agree. He's got the most opportunity outside of maybe like Mikael Brown, but from of any team, any player here. So I'm definitely looking at him. Like you said, end of the draft for sure. Probably a little earlier if I want to take a chance or something like that. So,
yeah.
No. So that was our list of 5 winners and 5 losers. Now I want to get into a little bit here, some honorable mentions. So we didn't add any vets to these lists. We kind of tried to keep it rookies. So were there any vets for you that kind of stuck out, or do you want me to kind of go over some of my list? Look, let's start with this dishonorable. I have one in particular that really surprised me. But I'll let you go if you have one.
Some dishonorables. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I'll take 2. So Isaiah Evans, guy can't shoot. I'm sorry,
didn't play well.
Stayed at Duke. Did not play well. Really, more to say on Fleming's, which I don't know if that's your guy or not, but
I liked him enough.
I don't know. I like what he can be, but he's just clearly not there yet, in my opinion. I think he showed me he was exactly where we thought he was, which is not super creative with the ball in his hands. Maybe if he shoots a little better, he'll be a decent role player. I was not impressed with how he played out there. It didn't look like he was like the leader of the offense by any means. And I think defensively he'll be fine. And if he increases his shooting numbers, he'll be useful eventually. It's just not from your top 10 pick. I'm like, I'm not that all impressed, not that excited right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not super excited about something like that. Like my thing is that he did show he can play solid defense, and he is a high character guy and he's a high effort guy. So I think he's going to be able to like pick it up faster, but not draft him for sure. But
definitely.
One guy that stuck out to me more than anybody is he's a returning guy, second-year player Ryan Kalkbrenner from Charlotte, who 26 and a half minutes a game, played 3 games, I think it said, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Now he did average 3.7 blocks, so good shot blocker, but 26 and a half minutes a game, 5 points, 4 rebounds. That's
more than he played all season last year.
Yeah, right. And for somebody who was like if they made the playoffs, was going to be a solid rotation player in the playoffs. Like he's their backup center. Potentially for me, I drafted him, or I didn't draft him. I picked him up. I had him on my roster for like a lot of the season. Probably would have considered him the same this year, but that scared me a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to ask him to do that much this year. Not that they did a ton last year. He was kind of splitting minutes, which now you add Naz Reid into that mix, and I don't think his profile is not necessarily what they need as much. They need somebody like Naz to come in there and shoot the 3 and be a little bit. I mean, he gets blocks, but it's not that he's the greatest defender. He's just tall and lanky, and is able to be in the right position to get those blocks. But I don't know. Yeah, I agree. Not super impressed with him. Unless he's going to play those minutes. Even then, he's not. He's probably going to be low 20s again.
Yeah.
He's not going to be offensively. They're not going to ask him to do anything hardly at all. So double doubles are kind of off the board at that point.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe 26 and a half minutes. Points, he's not a scorer. I get it. And he didn't have like a really like, well, honestly, he probably had the best passing point guard that was going, Christian Anderson, in the draft at least. So like, and I think Christian Anderson almost averaged like eight assists a game. So I don't know what he was doing out there. I'd be lying if I said I watched all the Charlotte games, but I don't know what they were doing out there.
Chris.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This other guy, well, I'll say this as a group, the Nets young players, other than Mikael Brown Jr. and Igor Dieman, sucked. Now, Nolan Traore didn't play. He had a knee scope surgery or something, so he didn't play this offseason. But Wolf, 11 points, 1.2 assists a game, which coming into last year, I thought he could be like a hub type player where like
Yeah,
I
I
was
remember that.
I was so high on him, like as far as like high post for especially that team, like high post catch,
Yeah.
like that's averaging close to 5 assists a game. Like I thought he could be something, and he just showed me that I was wrong
Well,
big time.
they're just so wishy-washy, man. They're like, one game he'll play 30 minutes, next game he'll play 10, and they've just
Yeah,
got so many of those fringe guys that they're like, I don't know, maybe he'll stick. Let's roll him out there. And then the next game, I don't know, let's try this guy. And it's
yeah,
just too inconsistent, and none of them are that good anyways. To if they got consistent minutes, maybe just sheer volume will carry them, but that's about it.
yeah, yeah. And then the other guy to note here is Drake Powell, who probably had an all-time terrible summer league. I mean, one for 28 from the field, and then he had one game where he went 6 for 10, and then he went 1 for 6 the next game. Like this guy just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. If he
Yeah.
like he just couldn't do any, what's the saying? He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Yep.
Like it was horrible. It was
Yeah.
horrible watching him, and he just kept shooting though. Like good for him, but what bricks bad. It just
Yeah. I mean, at least he's shooting them, unlike, Swain. But yeah,
true.
I guess that'll tank your value too. So I guess he knew his place.
And to wrap it up here, we'll go over. I put 5 guys on this list, but I'll run through them pretty quick. We had for honorable mentions as far as just off the list as far as vets go. Malawatch pressed me 40% from 3 over 5 a game. Really impressive, especially in a rotation where none of their bigs are shooters. So if he can show that he can space the floor, I think he could easily jump over Mark Williams and Nick Richards easily. Especially 2 blocks a game. I mean, 19 and a half points, 13 rebounds is impressive. It is impressive. Another guy is Arthur Kaluma from the Lakers. Really impressed. 50% shooting. I mean, 3-point shooting, which the Lakers are going to need badly. So they signed him to a 2-way deal. Who knows how much he plays on that, but interested in that for sure. And then the Wizards young guys that came back, really impressive. Every single one of them averaged. Well, I put AJ DeBonsa in that, but Trey Johnson and Will Riley are the 2 main ones. All averaged over 25 points a game, which just really impressive for me. Like their scoring was really good. They only played, I think Trey Johnson played 1 game, and then Will Riley played 2 games, and they were like, man, that's good enough.
Yeah, but that's what you want to see for those types of players. You can roll out there and look like a bunch of duds like the Nets, but these guys are coming in showing like, yeah, we're here to develop, and we don't have to play the whole summer, but let's, kind of gel with the team. Let's show these young guys, the younger guys, rookies, how we're going to be, and you can't just come in and take our spot, essentially. So It's encouraging to see that from a Wizards team that a lot of us expect to be potential playoff contenders, or at least play-in contenders with the current roster. So if they can have those guys coming off the bench and contributing for them, that's perfect.
Yeah, and then this last guy I'll mention just before we sign off is because I think he's for sure back up to Gobert, and at some point probably going to take over. Man, I forget. Behringer is how you say his last name, but I forget how you say his first name. It's not Joan, but 18 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks a game. I mean, he just showed dominance. Every single time he played, he was everywhere on the floor. His energy is really high. He's somebody, I mean, going into I'm watching as far as they go into training camp and seeing like who they're going to have as their backup center. I think it's him for sure. And worth thinking about drafting a little bit, especially if he's going to have that backup role. Because I don't see who's getting rebounds for the Timberwolves. And so he's not going to average 18 points a game, obviously. But
yeah, no.
It's interesting.
At what point does Gobert lose a bit of a step, and maybe he gets closer to a timeshare split with Behringer? I don't think Behringer's offensive game is quite there yet, but he's shown he can be a pick and roll guy. Obviously, defensively, he's very, very solid. So it's kind of along that Gobert Wemby line of French bigs that he's kind of modeled his game after them. So I think he's in a great position to succeed. It's just a matter of opportunity. Are they going to play him 20 minutes a game? Or last year they didn't really play him that much, but they had Nas and some bigs. So I think this year could be a little bit more someone to consider. Definitely dynasty, but somebody in redraft, I'll be looking at him throughout the year. I probably won't take him right away, but
Yeah,
definitely intriguing profile.
For sure, for sure. But that wraps it up. We love watching Summer League. These young guys are super exciting. I'm super excited to see where they go, and I'm excited to see, even the guys that kind of struggled, like Darren Peterson and these guys. Like, I'm hoping that they get into their new roles and it clicks for them, and they get going. But I'm super excited for the season coming up. We got a bunch of good shows coming up. We're gonna move on from prospect talk, and we're gonna gotta go into I think more of like a division breakdowns. I think it's coming up in the next few weeks. So I'm excited about that. Talk about some real fantasy value players, like where you're going to draft them first, second round, like that, those type guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
we'll
super
get more locked into that. But in the meantime,
absolutely.
check out your article that you wrote, Brian. And
yeah, please.
Get on the website, take a look at us, take a look at the rest of the team. Everybody's really in full swing right now, it feels like. So
yeah,
it's only going to get better as the season gets closer.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We have more content to put out when the season gets closer. We got a bunch of fun segments that we're bringing over from our previous channel, and we're super excited about that. But please, as always, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know who your top 5 losers and top 5 winners were. Or if you don't agree with our list, we love interacting with y'all. So please, just keep it coming for us.
Yeah, you can call me a clown, but you got to bring me a sponsor. That's
yeah, for sure. All right, everybody, have a good week.
Nice. I always forget about that intro and that I'm muted. I'm like, I can't talk until it's done.